Welcome to episode 3 of the Strategize to Monetize No BS Way to Scale Your Business podcast. Have you ever wondered which social media platform is best for you growing your e-commerce business? Regardless of if you're just starting your e-com biz or a seasoned veteran, together we're going to explore and identify which social media platform is right for you and how to utilize it to attract your perfect customers. Not sure about you, but this is pretty exciting. Let's get into it. Hey, I'm Lou, and I'm the host of the Strategize to Monetize podcast. I'm a business strategist, digital marketing coach, and totally obsessed in all things related to harnessing the power of social media to turn side hustles into full-time gigs. In 2016, I left my high-flying corporate career to launch and grow my own online business. Whilst many at times, myself included, thought I was insane, there were a few things I knew for sure. I knew I wanted more from life than working for somebody else, building their multi-million or billion-dollar business. I knew I wanted freedom and flexibility to spend time with family and friends, to travel, to have hobbies and interests outside of working all the time. I knew I didn't want to sacrifice my income. In fact, I wanted to earn more than my 9 to 5, but in less working hours. And I knew I wanted to help and teach e-com business owners how to do that and have the same. This show is dedicated to showing you exactly how I did it and how you can too. The no BS way. Hit subscribe and let's get started. To gain access to my free training, steal my 5-step Facebook selling system, and scale your e-commerce business to 5K months, head to www.fbrevolution.co/masterclass. Hey guys, it's Lou here, and today I want to have a little bit of a chat with you guys around which social media platform is the right platform for you and your e-commerce business. So, believe it or not, this is a question I get asked quite often, either by business owners who are about to embark on their digital journey or business owners who are on their digital journey, but they're still not too sure whether they are on the right platform and whether their ideal customer is on that right platform as well. So, if you're in either one of those boats, then this episode is just going to be absolutely perfect for you. So, first and foremost, if you are wondering whether it's Facebook or Instagram or somewhere else, my first question to you would be, what platform or platforms do you like hanging out on most? Now, if your answer is, I'm not really on social media, my response to you would be to start using social media or a social media platform, as a way to just keep in touch with friends or family. And that way you can start to understand a little bit how it works, and you can start leveraging or actually start understanding more about, the journey that you're about to embark on. Um, so that would, I guess, be my first recommendation for you. Look at Facebook. Most people have got friends or family on the Facebook platform. And so if that is true for you too, then, sign up. Or if you've already got a personal page, then, start, I guess, being more present on your personal page before you start catapulting yourself into the business side of the platform. That doesn't mean that you all of a sudden need to start posting all the time or anything like that. It just simply means that you're consciously logging in and, spending some time to read other people's posts, maybe engage with them, and really just start to, I guess, familiarize yourself with the platform and how everything works. Then you can decide from there whether that platform is going to be best for you professionally as well as personally. Now, if it's not Facebook, maybe it is Instagram, maybe you're on LinkedIn. Maybe you're on YouTube, whatever it is. I guess, as I mentioned, if you're not currently using these platforms personally, you've just got logins, start, I guess, utilizing them from a consumer experience, because the more you understand them as a consumer, the easier it's going to be for you, slightly easier it's going to be for you from a business point of view as well. Now, probably I'm going to take a stab in the dark that most of you are utilizing a social media platform or platforms personally. And now you have, set yourself up with your business pages. And you're kind of enjoying that experience. So, again, my first question to you is, what platform or platforms do you like hanging out the most? Because if you're anything like me, you're on a lot of the platforms. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. I've got logins to YouTube. I utilize the YouTube app more for, self-care and mindfulness and meditation. I'm on Pinterest, Snapchat, WhatsApp. I'm personally a consumer of, or a user or a lot of these apps. Now, just because I utilize them in some capacity doesn't mean I need to use them all from a business sense. It doesn't even mean that I like all of them, if I'm really honest with you. So it just kind of depends on the purpose that each kind of individual app plays in my life. So just because I'm on Snapchat doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to use Snapchat for business. I guess because I'm on Facebook doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to use it for business. But you need to decide which one of these apps or how many of these apps you actually enjoy consuming content on as a consumer. And then that will help guide you in the direction of which app or which social media app you should be using for your business. I'm a really big believer, if you don't like the app, then don't use it for your business, because you're going to have to you're going to be on it a lot more as a business owner. Think of it like an office. I see Facebook, I use the Facebook, platform more than the other platforms. And I kind of see that as my office. So I've got, set hours that I've logged into the platform, just like set office hours. Now, if I didn't like a job or going to an office, which was a part of my job, then I would probably start looking for something else, right? And it's exactly the same as a social media app for business. It's so important that if you're going to start looking at ways to grow your e-commerce business by using social media platforms, that you actually love the platform yourself, because you are going to be utilizing it a lot more, and sometimes it's going to frustrate you. So if you don't love it, it's going to frustrate you even more. So my tip number one to you is, decide what platform or platforms you like hanging out on the most. Now, once you know the answer to that, and it could be really easy for you to say, yes, I love being on Instagram, or yes, I love being on Clubhouse, or whatever app it is. My second question to you is, what platform or platforms is your perfect customer hanging out on? So you may love Clubhouse, but is your perfect customer on that app? Maybe you love Pinterest, but is your perfect customer on that social media app? This is like we're so spoiled for choice that we've got so many different social media apps that we get to be able to utilize, for personal connections as well as business growth. Um, but it can become very overwhelming. Which one should I be using? So look at the app or the apps in which you currently enjoy, and then ask yourself which one or which two or which three, of those would your perfect customer be hanging out on. Because as I've already said, if you like an app but your perfect customer's not on there, then it's probably not going to be the best app for you to be growing your business. And it would be in your best interest to find a social media platform that aligns to you and your perfect customer. Otherwise, it's going to be really challenging for you to start seeing those results and increase in revenue and attract those paying customers that you're after. So, really spend some time having a bit of a think about where your perfect customer likes to hang out and, where you like to hang out with them, because that is really important in the step of, utilizing social media apps for business growth. My third tip here is understand the differences and decide which platform suits you and how you like to connect with your target audience. So we've got Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok, Clubhouse, Snapchat, WhatsApp. They're all the ones that kind of spring to mind immediately. And each one of those platforms has got, I guess, a different purpose or a different intent driving it forward. So, for example, if we look at Facebook, so Facebook is probably one of the oldest social media apps that we've got. It's got about 6 billion users currently active. And a key feature of Facebook, of course, is to be able to have our individual profiles, our business profiles, but also Facebook groups. Now, Facebook, with its group function, is one of the only platforms that has, that as a tool. And it's a really powerful tool to be able to connect with like minded people, for personal connection as well as business connection. But that is a really standout alone feature for the Facebook social media platform. So, decide, if you're in any groups. If you're not in a group right now, then maybe go look for some local groups, especially business groups. Spend some time in them. Again, just like if you haven't been on social media before, spend some time in groups. You're starting to understand a little bit how they work and, how you would feel about consistently being present in a setting like that. Instagram is very much more a one-on-one platform, but also a super fun platform, for creators and business owners, and also people using it for personal use. It's more of a connect one-on-one with people. Of course, we've got, different ways that we can have potential people, look at our stories or our reels or our IGTVs or videos. But in order to kind of grow a business in a proactive space, it is more of a one-on-one engaging type of platform. It is not a one-to-many type of platform like I kind of see Facebook groups to be. Facebook groups, like the way that I describe them, is kind of like going to a networking event, only they give us the opportunity to connect one-on-one with people by commenting on posts as well as post in the group. So kind of be seen as, like the guest speaker. And have all eyes on our posts, and what we're up to. Whereas Instagram is more of a singular type of platform. Then, of course, we've got LinkedIn. Again, it's also a very B2B platform, personalized, great for one-on-one connection. If you're, if a professional platform is your jam, and you like, one-on-one networking, LinkedIn is an amazing platform, if that's where your ideal customer's hanging out. It gives you huge organic reach. The ability to get your content, posts, videos, articles, blogs seen is really, really powerful. And that is a really big, I guess, unique selling point for looking at the LinkedIn platform as a platform of choice for your business. Then, of course, we move more into our more video-based platforms, YouTube and TikTok, and then Clubhouse, which, of course, is more of a listening type of app. I kind of like, my analogy for this is that they're kind of like podcasts, only they happen in real life. And, you can't kind of see anyone or anything, but you can listen to somebody talking and then ask questions at the same time. Then, of course, we've got Snapchat, and, the list kind of goes on. But every single platform, as I guess kind of mentioned, has got a different purpose and a different intent and a different reason why we would use that platform for our business. If one, we like being on the platform, and two, our perfect customer is on there. So it would be my recommendation for you to really understand the differences, understand, what you would need to, what a marketing content plan would look like for each of those different apps, or social media platforms, and then decide which one is going to suit you best. If you don't like creating video, then a video platform is probably not going to be best for you. If you don't want to be, I don't know, hanging out in Facebook groups, then that may not be the best platform for you. Again, we have so much choice, and it really comes down to what we really like, the platform we love, where our perfect customer is hanging out, and of course, how we want to be showing up in our business and marketing our business to attract our paying customers. It's very important that this is all, in alignment. Your business profile, regardless of what app you're on, to be able to connect with your perfect customers and create content like a post or a video, or a story, and then be able to do that consistently to be able to achieve the growth that you're looking for and the sales that you're looking for in your business. Now, one of my pro tips, which I wanted to share, is, you may have gone, perfect, I love being on these 3 platforms, and my perfect customer is on those 3 platforms too. And I love each of these platforms because, I can create similar content to connect with my perfect customer, and I'm going to go ahead and start marketing my business on all 3 of them. Now, if that's you, that's absolutely phenomenal. But as somebody who once did that as well, what I found is that it's very overwhelming launching into the digital world, into the online market space on social media, trying to do all of the things across all of the platforms. Now, it's not saying that you can't do that long term. I use multiple social media platforms for my business, and my clients and my students do exactly the same. But I do recommend, if you aren't currently utilizing these platforms to your greatest potential, start with one. And then once you've got the hang of, consistently achieving your content creation goals, posting, like seeing an increase in engagement and followers and website traffic, and, even sales coming from, that specific platform. Then once you've nailed that, start looking at the second platform. So, for me, I started with one platform. I originally started with Facebook. This is back in the dark ages of, I don't know, 5 years ago. So Facebook was by far the powerhouse of a platform, and it was all the rage, and everyone was talking about it. And I was really only on that platform, personally. So we didn't have the choice back when I started my online marketing journey, and online business journey, like we have today. But I learnt the Facebook platform in and out. It was like I became a brain surgeon, and I needed to know everything that there was so that I could fully harness its power and utilize every tool and every function to be able to connect with my perfect customer anywhere in the world. Now, there were times where I would post consistently on my business page, then I wouldn't post at all because life would happen. Then I'd get back on the horse and I would give it another go. Then I would feel overwhelmed. Then I would want to learn something new. So I would do that. I would drop the ball again. I put huge amounts of pressure on myself just with one platform alone, let alone trying to get across multiple all at one time, especially because they are all slightly different and have slightly unique ways in which the content is going to help you attract paying customers. So my recommendation for you is pick that one platform to start with, Yes, absolutely. You can repurpose, your posts across the other platforms if you're wanting to do it, but get to know that main platform like it is your best friend, because it is likely you're going to be spending your entire business journey together. So you kind of end up like a married couple. So think of it like you are, transitioning from kind of casually seeing each other to to something a bit more committed, to the point that you're going to be spending a lot of time on that main platform, so you really want to understand it super super well. Once you've got that platform sorted, then awesome. Totally start utilizing and then start understanding how that second platform is going to be able to help you reach your perfect customer as well. So let's say your second platform could be Instagram. Facebook and Instagram are fairly similar. However, Instagram is definitely more video based as opposed to Facebook. So, you then have to find time and create space to start focusing more on video creation. And if you've not got your first platform sorted, trying to pick up a second ball and start juggling that can be quite overwhelming. And you might drop the ball on both and then have to start again. And consistency really is key. So once you've kind of, spread your energy across two platforms and you feel super confident and you've been really consistent, if you then want to expand onto another platform and then another, or however many it is that you choose to market your business and utilize them, just really do it consciously, and just make sure that you've got the ability to remain consistent on the original platform or platforms that you have been using to grow, because a lot of time and effort has gone, into attracting ideal followers and page likers, and then be able to get them, to know, like, and trust you. And you don't really want to drop the ball to have to start all over again with that. So decide, where you're going to start, get to know it, and then move on to the next. And another way, I guess, if you're wondering how to know when to start moving on to the next, my recommendation would be to set yourself a goal so that you feel confident that it's time for you to expand. So that could be a growth goal. So, achieving X amount of followers or page likers. It could be an engagement goal, or it could be a monetary goal. So once you're starting to attract paying customers from one specific platform, you'll feel super confident, and then it might be time for you to move on to the next. It would be my recommendation to make it a monetary goal, because then you know that you're actually making the impact and attracting the right people that you want to, so you can replicate that onto the second platform. However, you do you set your own goals, and that's absolutely amazing. The other thing I guess I would suggest is to decide why you're using, your current platform, and why you want to move on to another. Are you moving on to additional platforms because people out there are telling you that you need to be on additional platforms? Or are you doing it because you can see a really amazing opportunity to reach more potential customers, to be able to help them and grow your business? So only you are going to know the answer to that one. So, guys, that I guess wraps up some of my suggestions to work out which platform is going to be best for you and growing your e commerce business. So, again, just for a quick recap, I've got three main questions that I would recommend that you ask yourself. And even if you are using these platforms now, you can totally ask yourself them right now too. But first and foremost, what platform or platforms are you loving hanging out on? And which of those platforms is your perfect customer hanging out on too? As I mentioned, there is no point you trying to attract paying customers on a platform that you don't love, and there's no point you trying to attract your perfect customers on a platform they don't love, because they're probably not going to be there. And then my third recommendation is to really understand the difference between each of the platforms, and to decide which one is going to suit you and how you like to connect with your target audience. So if you don't like, being in Facebook groups, then probably not going to be the greatest option for you, unless you decide that you want to learn and grow through that, and that is going to be a great option. If you don't like creating lots of video content, then platforms like Instagram and YouTube and TikTok might not be best for you for right now. But decide which platform is going to suit, the way that you want to grow and run your business, and then create a marketing plan that's going to align with that you absolutely love, because I can promise you that you will love using these platforms to grow your business. If you love it, if you love being on that platform yourself and you love the features and the tools and the benefits that it brings. And then start with one platform until you start, expanding and trying to learn all the things and be in all the places. It is far less overwhelming. It's really going to help you understand your perfect customer so much better, build a great relationship with them, and then start, repurposing or focusing on other platforms, to grow your business as well. So, guys, that is it for today's episode. I trust that you have found this super valuable. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode. If you've loved it, please go ahead and hit subscribe so you are notified when new episodes go live. Whilst you're there, I'd love it if you could leave me a review too. Then head on over to www.fbrevolution.co/masterclass, where you can gain instant access to my free and super juicy training, steal my 5-step Facebook selling system, and scale your e-commerce business to 5K months. See you on the next episode.